is Brands Hatch, just outside London in the Kent countryside. And today is British Grand Prix Day, the biggest day on Britain's motorsport calendar. Brands Hatch is packed. Every grandstand is packed, every grassy bank is packed. And the reason, because they're hoping to see the first English victory in the John Player British Grand Prix since Peter Collins won, in a Ferrari, of course, way back in 1958. The 9th Grand Prix of the season, 7 to go. World champion Niki Lauda has double the points of his nearest rival. But after successive defeats in Sweden and France, Ferrari designer Forghieri and Lauda's teammate Regazzoni are concerned about the Ferrari fortunes.
James Hunt was the man in form after winning in Spain and France, talking here with former McLaren driver Denny Hulme, the 1967 world champion and twice Can-Am champion. Hunt didn't seem too worried by the challenge of the Tyrrell's six-wheel cars, driven by South African Jody Scheckter, winner in Sweden, and French teammate Patrick Depailler, who would drive car number 4.
Two former Indianapolis winners, Lotus designer Colin Chapman and America's Mario Andretti. A team packed with potential and a real practice sensation. What are Andretti's tactics in Formula One?
Very simple. It's flat out from the minute that flag drops. It's no waiting game, and first lap is all important because many positions are decided at that point because the cars are so closely matched. When you look at qualifying times, you see 25, 26 car field within 2 seconds. And that's incredible. So whenever you're behind any one of the top competitors, it's almost impossible to pass. And this class of driver doesn't make too many mistakes. So if you're behind, you usually have to whistle.
Eamon's Ensign team had an American sponsor for the first time. His rival in the same colours was Roger Penske's driver John Watson, trying for Penske's first Formula One win. A crowd of 80,000 had crammed into the 2.6-mile Kentish Speed Bowl. It's the biggest day in the British motor racing calendar, with all the excitement and atmosphere that makes the magic of Grand Prix. Front row of the grid, Niki Lauda, car number 1 in his Ferrari, and James Hunt, car number 11. On row 2, Clay Regazzoni and Mario Andretti. On the third row, Patrick Depailler and Chris Amon in the Ensign. And on row 4, the sensational and revolutionary six-wheel Tyrrell of Jody Scheckter of South Africa. Alongside Jody, Ronnie Peterson of Sweden in his March.
198 miles, 76 times down this straight past the pits. But at Bend, notoriously difficult. Watch the Ferraris. As the dust clears, the track is covered in debris. Regazzoni nurses his Ferrari away from the scene. Lauda leads the survivors through Druids. At the back of the field, Hunt limps with damaged suspension. Back at paddock, Jacques Lafitte's French Ligier looks in a very bad way. All over the circuit, the flags are out. The race is being stopped.
In front of the grandstand, there's confusion. No one seems to know where to go. They only know they have to get there in a hurry.
Going back out to the circuit now. and Niki Lauda's wheel is being changed at this moment in time. Yeah, well, I think
James Hunt's brother, Peter, rushes to help, but meets James sprinting back. At this point, quick thinking will affect the result of the race. Out on the track, the marshals wait for the next move. Information is scarce. Only one man seems to know what really happened, James Hunt.
I got out of trouble completely. I never hit anybody. I stopped on the left, and they fucking came apart into it. This one. It's all right, it's not swelling up yet. We caught on the steering wheel. Tell us what happened. Well, no, there's a race going on there, boy.
Hunter's hurt his thumb, but his car needs more attention as the team mechanics wheel it back. Lafitte's car is immobile and needs more than manpower to move it. Lauda's car is virtually undamaged, but will the rules allow Hunt to start again in his backup car? The arguments go on for more than 40 minutes, and the crowd get very impatient. Andretti is unaffected as he moves back onto the grid. But how did the accident really happen?
Riccatelli did what? Took Niki, hit Niki. Yeah. And that was it. You know, and then, I mean, I just couldn't avoid it. So I went round, but then I went round the side, avoiding it, and somebody hit me up the arse.
This is how former world champion Denny Holmes sees it.
Here we see Clay Regazzoni's car coming through on the inside of Niki. I would think Niki was not aware that Clay was there, and they come in contact with one another. Niki's wheel, I would say, doing a lot of damage to the radiator of Clay's car, and consequently the spin on the water from the burst radiator. James's car, following very close behind, tries to go around the extreme left-hand side of Clay, and when he thinks he's almost clear, he climbs over, the wheels come in contact, and they climb over one another. Jack Lafitte in the Ligier is committed to try and come across the front of Clay, and you'll see them here come in contact, and he bounces in the air, and that's retired both those cars, and James's car had damaged front suspension.
Oh, they are? Well, I say
On the grid, Hunt plays it cool with Moss and Holm. Will the organisers let him race? The decision is a long time coming, but while the debate continues, it's time enough for Hunt's mechanics to repair his race car. When they return to the grid, the crowd goes wild. Now James Hunt is certain to start again.
50 minutes after the accident, a new race starts, a full 76 laps. But Andretti can't start. Amazingly, everyone avoids him. But just watch Hans Stuck taking to the grass.
Paddock bend, and again it claims a victim. At the back of the field, Edwards tangles with Evans, and car 25 retires after just 100 yards. Once again, Lauda leads the field into Druids, but there's more drama here. Depailler and Stuck crash. The Frenchman is unhurt and wants to get back into the race. But on the other side of the track, the German abandons his car. Now the race is really underway. Approaching Hawthorne, it's Lauda, Hunt, Regazzoni, Scheckter, Peterson and Brambilla. Lauda leads to Westfield and then on to Dingle-Dell.
Lap 2, Lauda, Hunt and Regazzoni lead the field through paddock and up to Druids. Depay rejoins the race, but now he's a lap behind. Andretti's car is finally coaxed back into action. Down the long straight to Hawthorns, Lauda can't shake off Hunt. And at Westfield it's Lauda, Hunt, Regazzoni, Scheckter. Already the average speed is over 115 miles an hour. Lauda, Hunt, Regazzoni, Scheckter, Peterson and Brambilla, Amon, Watson, Nielsen, Mazzario, Pache, Price, Jones, Lunga, Reutemann, Ertl and Fittipaldi.
Druids, and it's still Lauda, Hunt, Regazzoni. From Scheckter, Peterson, Brambilla, Amon, Watson, Nielsen, Mazzario, Pache, Price, Jones and Lunga. Regazzoni has Scheckter shadowing him closely. There are 6 wheels filling Regazzoni's mirrors all the way to Westfield. Now Hunt is putting the pressure on Lauda.
Lap 8, as the field race through paddock, John Watson is missing, in the pits with a damaged nose cone, but fast Penske pit work puts him back in the race, but down in 20th position. Nielsen and his pursuers pass teammate Andretti as they rush down towards Graham Hill Bend. Marshals decide to move Stuck's car further out of danger. But the main contest is still between Lauda and Hunt, and the Austrian is briefly widening the gap. What does Denny Holm feel is the difference between the two drivers?
James would appear now to be very forceful. He's not hard on the car, from what the mechanics have been telling me. What he does is he just goes out and tries extremely hard. James is aggressive, I would say. Niki is methodical in his approach with the team. And I suppose in the long run, they're both liable to win Grand Prix. But I would say that it's 2 different approaches to the same subject.
Hunt closes the gap at paddock, but Regazzoni is still very much in the reckoning. And the field go by Bob Evans, a lap behind. At Druids, Hunt is very much the meat in a Ferrari sandwich. Regazzoni is driving the spare Ferrari after the paddock incident, but will it last? Peterson and Brambilla in the marches are teammates, but this isn't the way to stay friends.
Lauda and Hunt lead Regazzoni, but now car number 2 with its flat 12 engine is delivering less than its full 500 brake horsepower. He's still going at Dingle Dell, but at Clearways he's definitely in trouble. And he heads for the pit road. Regazzoni reports the car has lost all its oil pressure. Now there is only one Ferrari left to worry Hunt.
Ferrari's pit board tells the story. Lauda is just half a second ahead of Hunt, and Scheckter is a distant third. The race half over, Lauda is definitely still the leader as they go from Paddock to Druids and down to Graham Hill Bend. New boy Nielsen is defending John Player's honour, holding 5th place ahead of Price, Pace and Lunger. Lap 44 and Hunt has really closed the gap. Victory for the Englishman is now definitely on the cards. As lap 45 begins, Hunt makes his move, and behind the trees on Druids, he gives the home crowd what they've been waiting for. The red and white car number 11 is in the lead. But Ertl in the white Hesketh, the car Hunt drove last year, is in the way as they head for Westfield. At Dingle Dell, Hunt looks as if he's going to stay ahead, and the crowd are delighted. But Lauda isn't giving up the chase.
Derrier's Shadow makes a pit stop, but he's low down the field. On lap 50, Tapaye's unhappy race finally comes to an end with engine trouble. On, and there are tense faces in the James Hunt pit. Team manager Teddy Mayer and designer Gordon Coppert wonder whether their hastily repaired car will last the distance. But Hunt is now comfortably in the lead as Lauda struggles with gearbox trouble. Sadly, Brett Lunger's best ever Grand Prix run comes to an end on lap 56.
Hunt flies past a slowing Jarier. The Englishman has the track to himself, and the big scoreboard tells the story the home fans want to see. Hunt, Lauda, Scheckter, Nielsen, Price and Watson.
Nielsen is still battling to throw off Price after a duel that has lasted 45 laps. But now Watson is the man to watch.
First Watson passes Price to snatch 5th place, and now he's up to 4th spot. Gunnar Nielsen, Colin Chapman's latest star, has driven superbly, but his race won't last. Watson has worked his way up from 20th position in a remarkable drive, and now he's threatening the Swede.
With 8 laps to go, Watson gets ahead, and then Nielsen pulls off with the blown engine, losing certain championship points. It's a disappointing day for Nielsen and for Chapman.
Approaching Hawthorne, Hunt has a clear road ahead and behind him. By the end of the race, the gap will have widened to a massive 52 seconds.
Hunt is followed through Dingledale by Lauda, who looks as though he's still very much on the limit. And Jody Scheckter is still 3rd. The South African won the Swedish Grand Prix in the Tyrrell six-wheeler, but the pace at Brands Hatch has been too much.
On the last lap, the crowd rises to James, a tribute to the first English victory in the British Grand Prix for 18 years. And so it's Hunt, Lauda, Scheckter, Watson, Price and Alan Jones.
James, how much does this victory mean to you? 9 points, $20,000 and a lot of happiness.
How much of a strain was it having to drive after that false start?
Well, it was nerve-wracking. No, very relaxing, except that I was naturally worried about the handling in my car. And the first quarter of the race, it wasn't good, and then it seemed to improve as things went on.
How remarkable.
Could you give me a cigarette? Can I grab that cigarette off you? Thanks.
What sort of achievement was it on the part of the mechanics to get the car fixed in that very short time?
Absolutely fantastic. I mean, they really did a good job. They had to just throw it on. They had to put both sides of the front suspension had to be renewed, and they had to check the whole of the back, and it was incredible that they got it done.
How did the car handle during the race?
Well, it didn't start too well, but it got steadily better, and by the end of the race, or by mid-distance, it was fantastic.